Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday, 2024 edition. So last year I started on this journey to help me stay accountable on implementing my boundaries because I found that as a therapist, I was teaching my clients how to identify, how to implement, and how to enforce boundaries and holding them accountable. But who was holding me accountable? I started to put myself out there. Some of these stories were struggles that I have gone through, other people have gone through, or most people have difficulty with. And I started sharing wisdom on how to implement, identify, and or enforce your boundaries, right? Today is going to be the launch of a organized, structured weekly recording that I will be doing, and on the end of the month I will be going live, answering any questions from any of the videos, bringing guests throughout the year. But most of all, I want to encourage and inspire you all to implement your boundaries. Today, I will be doing a quick little recap on what are boundaries, helping you if you don't understand what are boundaries. The easiest way for me to identify boundaries, and I guess let me go further back. So I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a friend, I am a sister, I am many things. And I have found in my own healing journey, along with my clients' healing journeys, that boundaries seems to be the most difficult, the most thing that holds people back from living their fulfilled life. And we'll talk about many reasons why, where they come from. Let me see, what are some of the topics? I'll pull them up. Kind of what we're going to be going through. We're going to be today talking about understanding the basics, what are boundaries, the importance of setting boundaries for personal growth, common challenges in maintaining healthy boundaries, exploring cultural influences on boundary dynamics, boundaries in the age of technology, navigating the digital world, balancing independence and interdependence through boundaries, the role of communication in establishing boundaries, parental boundaries, fostering independence in children, the impact of boundaries on mental health and well-being, boundaries in romantic relationships, finding the sweet spot, overcoming guilt and shame when setting boundaries, and many, many more. So these are boundaries not just in your personal life, but in your work life, in your relationships with your parents, with your children. It's going to be fun. I hope that you all tune in every Wednesday for my Wisdom Wednesdays. And the reason why I am doing this is because I myself struggled with implementing boundaries, and a lot of it came from these limiting beliefs that I had. A lot of it came from the way that I was raised, and it wasn't until I committed to being the pilot of my life and deciding I created the world that I lived in. My actions or inactions dictated the life around me, right? I was the product of my actions or inactions. So I was very unhappy back then, and now I live a much better life because I implemented boundaries. And because I learned to implement boundaries, I wanted to help other people implement the boundaries. And I help my clients now identify, implement, and establish and enforce their boundaries. So let's do this. Let's understand what boundaries are. So, boundaries are limits that you identify for yourself and apply. Here's the key word: apply through action or communication. Okay. And this is where I believe, in my personal opinion, people often struggle with applying them, enforcing them. Okay. So it doesn't, just because you implement the boundaries doesn't mean that you're going to get exactly what you want. It doesn't even mean that people are going to honor your boundaries, right? But it's learning to live a fulfilled life by communicating and controlling things that you can control, right? It's kind of like an imaginary line that you put between you and other people, you and your job, you and your friends, you and your mother, you and your father, you and your children. These are things that you get to decide. Today is kind of an overview of what boundaries are. Those imaginary lines that are called boundaries, it creates this separation between your physical space, your feelings, your needs, and responsibilities from others. Your boundaries let other people know how to treat you. Because if you are not aware, we teach people how to treat us. So without those boundaries, we allow people to use us. We allow people to abuse us. We could allow people to take advantage of us, causing others to hurt us. Think of it as a fence that you build to keep people off your lawn, okay? That is what a boundary is, and it serves a purpose, and there are many benefits to having boundaries. The awesome thing is that you are the one who gets to dictate what is acceptable, because there are different types of boundaries, and we'll go into that. And I know I kind of briefed through it last year, but I kind of, the end of last year, I wanted to set up a more structured way to introduce boundaries to you all. I hope that you all tune in. I hope that you find this helpful, and I hope that you all learn to live a fulfilled life. Tune in next week.